What's up, everybody? Josie here, and I'm bringing you another. I'm bringing you another Blu-ray uh, review and unboxing. Uh, Today I'm gonna be reviewing and going over the Ant-Man and the Wasp Blu-ray, which is out now. Um, I did get the Target exclusive, which I have been getting the Target ones, the Target Blu-rays for a while now. I tend to like them just because the added booklet. I know a lot of people like the Best Buy version just because of the steel books. I personally would rather have the book as opposed to the steel books, and on certain occasions I will get steel books, but for this I went with the Target. So as I mentioned in the Infinity War now, they're only doing these with the 4K Blu-rays, which I do not have a 4K TV nor a 4K Blu-ray player, but it does include the regular standard Blu-ray. So I did get that. So that's why I did get it, and I did have a gift card, which is the only reason why I would get it, because I think it is a bit pricey for me. But that $15 gift card that I had made it a little bit better. So actually, before I take that off, I do want to show you guys the back. I like this. Very simple, but it's pretty cool design. Right here, you got the photo of everyone. It's like okay. Let me just get this off real quick. So right in the front, we got Hope and the Wasp costume. I will say this is probably one of my favorite MCU costumes. I just think it looks so cool. And she looks really good in the costume. And I just like all the detail in it. The color scheme, the way it works, the way it functions, the way she moves in it. Like, she's a standout. She is not a sidekick in this movie, which I really appreciate. You know, basically Ant-Man is her sidekick in this. You got Ghost and you got Ant-Man here, Paul Rudd. I really like Ghost a lot in this movie. One of my favorite antagonists in the MCU so far. I know I've read some reviews where people didn't like her or found her storyline a bit generic or whatnot, but I found it really good, and it moved me quite a bit, I think. Just her whole story arc I really enjoyed. It does come with a digital copy as well, which I already removed the code. And here's the 40-page book. So you got the silhouettes right here. It's pretty cool. And you got this in the back, which is I don't know, it feels like a bad Photoshop to me. But still, nonetheless, pretty cool. And in the inside, you know, I really like the quality of these books. They're made on very glossy paper. You got like a foreword by Paul Rudd. Sorry, it's a bit out of focus. And basically it goes through like some of the concept art and some behind the scenes set photos. I really enjoy these just because it's like a nice thing to have, you know, a companion for the movie. So these are pretty cool. You open it up, you got your 4K and then your standard Blu-ray. And yeah, I guess I'll just go through the bonus features. I'm gonna pop it in the Blu-ray and see what comes in it, and I'll let you guys know in a bit. Okay, so after going through the bonus features, I gotta say it's pretty standard as far as the Marvel movies go and just Disney movies in general. There's like the featurettes are like 22 minutes of stuff, which vary in I guess in quality, or some aren't as interesting. I mean, it all depends on your how your interest in the movie making process. I find it very fascinating. So for me, that sort of stuff is I find there's never enough of it, but it's 22 minutes of stuff, which is pretty cool. It's pretty standard, nothing too crazy. There's one on Paul Rudd getting back into the character and the costume, and then another one about, you know, Hope's new costume and how all that came into development. And then there's some about the visual effects, and so it's overall pretty cool stuff, pretty interesting. But that's pretty much it for that. There's the gag reel, which is like 3 minutes of stuff, which I'm not a fan of gag reels at all. There's like two deleted scenes, which I'm not a fan of deleted scenes either. I think they were deleted for a reason, and typically I tend not to care too much about those at all. Um, Other than that, that's pretty much it. It does come with the audio commentary, which, like I've always stated before, is probably my favorite aspect and of Blu-rays is just watching it with the audio commentary, and you get the most insight from the commentary, and just I like to because I always want to like dig the brains of or pick through the or whatever the expression is, the brain, pick through the brains. Is that what did you say about the directors? I don't know. I just like want to get all the insight and all the behind the scenes stuff. So all that is fascinating to me. As for the movie itself, my thoughts on the movie. I really love this movie. I think it's the perfect movie coming out of Infinity War, just because that one ended on such a downer. This is like a good pick me up, and you know, makes you remember that. Oh yeah, this is a fun universe, you guys. It's not all depressing, I promise. So I like that a lot. I think a lot of people had like mixed feelings about this movie. I know a lot of reviewers said that it wasn't as good as the first one, and others said it was. I fall more on the. I think it was better than the first one, and I really love this movie. It's probably like it might be in my top 10. It's definitely in my top 10. Maybe even top 5. Maybe I'm not sure. I have to like rethink it or go through my list. But yeah, I think, like I mentioned before, I think the villain is great, or antagonist. She's not really a villain, or I think all that's great. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly, their chemistry I think, is really good, and Hank Pym and his relationship with his wife and his storyline, that pretty much started in the first one. They're seeing it through, and he has a lot more to do in this movie. Where in the first one he was just there for exposition. So it's nice to have him here actually doing stuff. So that's pretty cool. My only real criticism is kind of like what they did to Paul Rudd's character here, to Scott Lang. Because in the first one, they established early on that I think he was like a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer. He's some sort of engineer, so he's really smart. He's supposed to be borderline genius, or I don't know. It's hard to even call these people geniuses just when you compare them to like Bruce Banner um, and Tony Stark. So he's supposed to be smart. And I feel like in this one, they totally forgot about that, or they just didn't care, and they made him kind of dumb. Like, especially when you have Hank Pym talking with Hope, and he's mentioning like what's called quantum entanglement and quantum phasing and all these words, which I understand if he doesn't know exactly what they are, but he seems to have like no clue. And I figured someone that smart should at least know what these words mean and could have enough context clues to figure out what they're talking about, because even me, who's not a genius, knows what they're talking about for the most part. So I feel like they totally dumbed him down and totally forgot that he's smart. But other than that, he's still really funny, and he's still such a good guy, and he's probably my favorite character in the MCU, just because to me he's the most relatable. He's just a guy. He's just one of the dudes, someone that you could imagine would be someone you would hang out in your group or something like that, and someone, he feels like the most genuine or the most real human, if that makes any sense, because everyone else in the MCU is so larger than life, but he seems just like a guy, and I really enjoy that about him and about this movie. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. The Blu-ray, I think the price is very steep. It's like $32 for the 4K with the booklet. I think it's really steep, but I think that's mostly because I do not have a 4K, so I'm just buying it for the standard Blu-ray. So other than that, if you want the booklet, you could probably still find it. I know You could check online to see if your local Target still has them in stock. I know some of them sell out. But yeah, you might want to think about the price. I think if you do have a 4K player, then and you do enjoy the 4K, then yeah, it's definitely worth it. If you don't, then I think you should just go with the standard, unless you really want the book. But yeah, nothing too crazy in the Blu-ray itself, you know. So yeah, that's my final say. It's a bit steep, but me enjoying this and just since I already had the last few ones, I'm kind of continuing the trend of buying these. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.